Wow, good evening, book lovers. Welcome to another episode of Cath-Lit Live. I am your host, Amy Cattapan. You can find me everywhere on social media under my pen name, AJ Cattapan. I feel like I should say welcome back because it's been a little while. It's been a hot minute since I've done an episode of Cath-Lit Live. If you follow me on social media, you might already be aware that January and February turned out to be very busy months for me. I did 8 talks or retreats in about 8 weeks. So I'm finally settling down. I've got about another 4 weeks before I have to give another retreat. It's just, I can go back to teaching and doing episodes of Cath-Lit Live for a little while here. So welcome back, everyone. If you are new to Cath-Lit Live, here's what I do here. I do interviews with Catholic authors who have new books that have just released. And the show is sponsored in part by the Hello Prayer app. If you haven't checked out the Hello Prayer app, please use the Cath-Lit Live link. I will put it in the show notes. I will also put it here on YouTube for you to check it out, hello.app/Cath-Lit Live. If you use that link, it helps support the show and you get a free premium trial of the Hello app. There's so much amazing content. I feel like every time I start the show and talk about the Hello app, they just keep adding new and new things. So like right now for Lent, there's a 40-day prayer challenge with Jonathan Rumi, aka TV Jesus from The Chosen, and Jim Caviezel, aka Film Jesus or Movie Jesus. I heard Jonathan say Movie Jesus really recently. I was like, Jonathan, I call him Film Jesus. Jim Caviezel and Jonathan Rumi have paired up together for a prayer challenge on the Hello app. So go check it out, everybody. We have a new author today. I just met her for the first time tonight. I haven't read her book yet, but it sounds very intriguing. So let me tell you about tonight's guest. Her name is Victoria Everleigh. She is an AP award-winning TV news producer turned financial coach who finally decided to pursue her dream of writing novels during the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic. Wonder how many other people ended up doing that during the pandemic. Well, she wishes she could be a morning person. Most of her writing gets done after 10 p.m. That is not when I get my writing done. Away from her laptop, she likes to dance, figure skate, and cuddle up with a good book. She lives in New England with her husband and daughter. So please help me welcome to the show, Victoria Everleigh.
Hi.
Hi, Victoria. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So nice to have you on Cath-Lit Live and get to meet another Catholic Writers Guild member. So I've told everyone a little bit about you. I don't think I've even said the name of the book yet, though. So the book we're talking about today is The Love We Vow. This is your debut novel, right? Is your first book?
Yes, it is.
All right, very good. So tell us about The Love We Vow.
So imagine if you were to walk into confession and you realize that the priest there is your ex-boyfriend. And that's basically what happens to my main character. And she's in a new town and she's surprised to find that this priest is her ex-boyfriend, but it's an ex-boyfriend who she kept a secret from, and that's that she was pregnant with his twins, something she never told him. And so now that he's re-entered her life unexpectedly, she's wrestling with whether she should tell him about the pregnancy and then what happened to the babies. And so overall, she has to make this decision, and that's what we're watching her struggle with throughout.
Okay, well, so what are some of the themes then that you are pulling out here? Because this is a meaty kind of subject. What kind of themes did you pull out? And then how did you weave the Catholic faith? Obviously, there's a priest as a character, but how does that play a role here?
Yeah, so the main theme of the book is forgiveness. And so it's not just forgiving others. My main character, Violet, she has to forgive other people. She also has to forgive herself, but she also needs to learn how to accept God's forgiveness, because I think probably most of us can relate to maybe going to confession multiple times and saying the same sin, and we confess it and we know we've been absolved of it, but then we still feel guilty about it. And so that's what you'll see with Violet, is she is just racked with guilt over something from her past. And she knows intellectually that God has forgiven her, but she hasn't really let that seep into her soul and truly feel redeemed. And so that is, and forgiveness is really one of the core tenets of Christianity. So it's a huge part of the story, but my characters are Catholic. So many of the scenes are set in Catholic locations, and really the faith plays a major part of the story.
So who's your intended audience for this? Who do you think would enjoy reading it?
So it's definitely geared towards women, Catholic women, I would say, because if you're someone who is really wondering how would someone else who's in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s or older, if they run into a situation with an ex, for example, how would they handle that if they were Catholic? How would they incorporate praying to the saints or going to adoration, or really how would they incorporate their Catholic faith? Those type of people who that sounds interesting to, that's who I wrote this for. And I think that it can definitely be an interesting read for people who are not religious, but I wrote it with the intent for women who are practicing their Catholic faith and really want to journey alongside someone else who's doing that, which is my main character.
Now, you had mentioned that there are some actual, like real Catholic sites in your book, which is something I have in common with my two novels. Both involve churches in Chicago. And I think some of yours are churches or shrines as well. Tell us a bit about some of the real locations you used.
Yes. So I live in the New England area. So all of the locations are in New England. And one of the ones that's probably most famous to people outside of New England is National Shrine of the Divine Mercy, which is in Stockbridge. That's Western Massachusetts. And there it is just a absolutely gorgeous place. And one of the scenes that is really healing for the main character, I won't spoil it, takes place there. And I'm so happy that I was able to go there and walk the exact path that my character would have walked, and just to kind of experience what she would have experienced there. Because I wanted people to feel like if they read this book, that these places are real and they can go to those places if they live in that area, or if they're ever traveling, they're made aware of other Catholic places to visit. And there's way more Catholic shrines than I ever realized in the United States. Yeah. Obviously, we're not in Europe, so we don't have the same history, but there's so many more Catholic sites to visit that you could really find yourself busy for a very long time if you went through the whole country.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of my friends up from Wisconsin, Marge Fenelon, has a couple of books about some of the shrines around. Father Edward Looney from Wisconsin also has some books and has done a whole bunch of podcasts and stuff about shrines to visit. He's up near Our Lady of Good Help in the Green Bay area, that one approved Marian apparition in the US. So you're absolutely right.
That is so cool.
Yeah, you probably will find people want to visit, like, because with my books, especially Seven Riddles to Nowhere, it's a bunch of churches in Chicago. And I've had people, after their kids read the book, like actually go visit the churches like the kids do in the book. So you probably haven't heard of anybody doing that yet with your book, because your book is so new, but I wouldn't be surprised if you hear that afterwards.
Yeah, I hope it'll inspire people to go visit some of the places. One of the other places I mentioned in it is this place called the Marie Joseph Spiritual Center in Biddeford, Maine. And I've gone there myself for a few different retreats, and I absolutely love it. And anyone who is looking for a retreat in the New England area, I highly recommend it, because it's gorgeous. It's right on the beach, and you literally get this oceanfront view, and it's incredibly run place. There's these awesome religious sisters there, and so I'm hoping that in some way people will learn more about these places through my book.
Awesome. Well, listen, I'm going to write that down, because I'm always looking for a good retreat house to go and visit when I travel. So maybe I will go visit New England and go stop by there. If people want to find out more about you and your book, where can they go?
So you can go to my website, victoriaeverleigh.com. I'm also on Facebook, so you just search for Victoria Everleigh, and then I have an author page there. I'm not on Instagram or Twitter or any other social media, so you won't find me there. I do get asked that, and I'll save you the time of looking me up on Instagram. I have a resistance to it that if God told me to make an Instagram, I would, but right now I'm settled and content with the social media that I do have.
Yeah, it takes time too. As someone who's been an author for a while, I can tell you, I started with like one piece at a time. I started with Facebook, and then once I felt like I really had that down, then I could grow into the next one. So that all takes time, and I'm very excited for you and your debut novel. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, Victoria.
Thanks for having me.
All right, well, we're gonna wave goodbye. Thanks for coming over, and we'll just wrap up here
Bye.
tonight. Bye. Wrap up here tonight by just reminding you once again, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see all the upcoming episodes of Cath-Lit Live. I know I already have another interview scheduled in 2 weeks. So that's going to be a new book from Chrism Press. I've interviewed some Chrism Press authors in the past, so you might want to come and check that one out in just a couple of weeks. Like this video wherever you're at, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Comment if this sounds like a book you're interested in, or if you've already read it. Let us know what you thought of it. And until next time, happy reading, everybody.